Okay, this is lesson 4.4. And 4.4 is called solving multi-step word problems. Basically, we're going to take what we know about multiplying and dividing and adding and subtracting fractions, and we're going to put them all together and have multi-step problems, which means problems that have more than one step, like many steps, okay? Now, we have to remember our order of operations if we are going to do math problems that have many steps. The order of operations, right? So sometimes more than one operation will be needed to solve a word problem. Okay, operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, those are operations. Later on, we'll also add exponents, but for now, the operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So the order of operations that we use in math always can be called GEMDAS. The G stands for groupings, which is anything like parentheses or brackets, anything that's in a group. Exponents are things like 4 squared. That little number at the top, that 2, that's an exponent. Then we can do multiplication and division, which you know what those are. We do those at the same time in order from left to right. Okay? From left to right. Okay? Multiplication and division. All right? The last thing we do in a multi-step problem is the addition and subtraction. And we do those at the same time in order from left to right. Addition, subtraction. All right, addition and subtraction. So that is the order of operations. Anything in parentheses or brackets or any kind of grouping, that gets done first. Then, if there are any exponents, those get expanded second. Then, multiplication and division from left to right. Then, any addition and subtraction comes last from left to right. Now, let's do an example with a word problem that has many steps, okay? So, here's what it says. Naomi has earned $54 mowing lawns. She worked 2.5 hours yesterday and 4 1/4 hours today. Naomi is paid the same amount each hour. How much does she earn per hour? Well, the first thing we're going to do is annotate the problem, which means we're going to take some notes in the problem. All right? Here's what I know. This is her total money. This $54 is her total money. She made that money in 2.5 hours plus 4 1/4 hours. So those 2.5 hours plus these 4 1/4 hours, those two together, she made this much money. Okay, $54. So the question is, how much does she make every hour? So to figure out dollars per hour, I would have to take the total and divide it by the total number of hours. Okay? So one of the things I need to know, if I'm going to figure out dollars per hour, dollars divided by hours, right? What I need to know is, what is the total hours? I know the total money, but I don't know the total hours because I know it's 2.5 and 4 1/4, but I don't know the total. I have to add those up, right? So, and I know I have to divide the total money by the total hours. So the second step is to write an expression. That means basically a math problem. So I know I have to take the total dollars and I have to divide it by the total hours, but I have to add up the total hours first. So I'm going to put those in parentheses because groupings come first. So I'm going to put the 2.5 hours plus the 4 1/4 quarter or 1/4 hour, I'm going to add those together first. And I know I need to add those together first, so that's why I'm going to put them in parentheses. So I get this total first, and then divide 54 divided by whatever this total is. Okay, so that's my expression. So now I use order of operations to solve. Order of operations says I do GEMDAS, which the G first, which is groupings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2.5. So this is my step 1. I'm going to take 2.5. And I'm going to add 4 and 1/4. I know how to add mixed numbers. I'm going to add the 1/2 and 1/4 together, but I need common denominators. So what is the greatest common factor for 2 and 4? I mean, not greatest common factor, the least common multiple for 2 and 4. The least common multiple for 2 and 4 is 4. So I'm going to make my common denominator 4. Okay, so this one doesn't change at all, but this one I have to multiply this times 2, which means I have to multiply this times 2. So I get 2 here. And now I can add the fraction parts together. 2 plus 1 is 3, so this is 3/4. And now I can add my whole numbers together. 4 plus 2 is 6. So that's the total hours. She mowed lawns for 6 3/4 hours, okay? So now that I know that's what goes in here, I can divide 54 divided by 6 3/4. That's going to give me dollars per hour, okay? So I also know how to do this. I have to convert this fraction to an improper fraction. And I have to make 54 a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. So I'm going to go 54 over 1 divided by 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. I'm going to say that again, 4 the denominator, times 6 the whole number, 4 times 6, that's 24, plus 3 the numerator is 27. So the numerator in our improper fraction is 27, and we always keep the denominator. Now I'm going to change flip. Keep 54 over 1, change to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. Okay, the next thing is there anything I can cross cancel here? And it turns out, yes, there is. Because 27 times 2 is 54, okay? That means 27 times 1 is 27, and 27 times 2 is 54. So they have a common factor of 27. So I can say 27 fits into 27 one time, and 27 fits into 54 2 times. So I cross cancel, which means I reduce before I multiply, which I'm allowed to do with multiplication of fractions. If I have one numerator and one denominator that have a common factor, I can reduce them before I multiply. So now the multiplication is much easier because the numbers are much smaller. 2 times 4 is 8, and 1 times 1 is 1. So this is 8. That means she earns, Naomi earns or makes $8 per hour. Okay, $8 per hour, and she mowed lawns for 6 3/4 hours. That's how she made her $54. All right, so this last lesson, 4.4, is putting the operations all together in multi-step word problems.